How's it going, guys? Dynamite here, coming to you as always from the Digital Warfare 24/7 forums, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about things that I think could be implemented in Titanfall 2 to make an improvement on this already excellent first installment of the series. The first thing I want to talk about are weapons and loadouts. Now, there are not enough weapons in Titanfall, and weapon variety is something that really helps replay value for a game, and Titanfall just doesn't have that. And besides that, the three weapons that are used the most are pretty overpowered compared to the rest of the weapons. I'm talking about the R101 and the two SMGs. Those are pretty much the only competitive options. You do see people using the shotgun on occasion for hardpoint dom and close quarters combat, but really it's those three weapons, and really, if you want to boil it down, it's mostly the R101 that is just crazy overpowered. It has such low recoil, and yet its time to kill is just barely less than that of the SMGs, and it's even higher than one of them, actually. The R101 is just way too powerful in this game, and they need to do a better job of balancing and giving us more diverse weapons, which is difficult to do because both are gonna, offset each other a little bit. It's always harder to balance a more diverse set of weapons, but it's something that I think Respawn really could tackle to give the game some more replay value in its second installment. The next thing I'd like to talk about is scoring. Now, I hear a lot of people who play Titanfall get frustrated at the fact that they are not scoring well despite the feeling that they're doing a lot. And I think that they need to add a couple different categories in the leaderboards to reflect people that are helping their team out in different ways. For instance, I think there needs to be a category for anti-Titan score, and not just in modes like Last Titan Standing that are actually focusing on destroying Titans. A lot of times players will focus on taking out the Titans so that the rest of their team can play the objective, for instance, and this is something that really needs to be recognized. Additionally, speaking of Titans, there aren't any build reductions to Titan time for objective play, like when you capture a hardpoint, when you capture a flag. This is something that needs to be changed. You need to be rewarded for that for sure. So if this is something that could get changed in Titanfall 2, I would definitely appreciate that, and so would the rest of us who like to throw ourselves on those objectives and try to go for the win. Maybe another good category that they could include would be time spent in proximity to the objective. Another really good one would be just total score per minute. So whatever you're doing, if you're killing grunts, if you're capturing objectives, if you're killing pilots, if you're killing titans, it all factors in together, and it gives you a comprehensive score per minute that is going to reflect exactly how much you're doing in the game. And I just briefly mentioned AI. I really do think that they need to increase the score that you get from playing the objective and for killing pilots relative to killing the AI. I know it's already only a small number of points you get for killing AI, but there are so many of them, and they really are very easy to farm in some situations, and it's just crazy to me that killing an AI player that poses basically no threat to any of your teammates will get you a reduction in Titan build time, whereas capturing an objective will not. So they really need to change that or they need to make the AI smarter. That might justify the level of points that you get from killing them. Moving on, I'd like to talk about customization. So this is an area where there is definitely room for improvement in Titanfall 2. Player appearance is the first thing I'd like to see. Right now, the only changes you can make are to gender, and I really would like to see maybe upgradable uniforms, faces. I mean, the possibilities are endless here. Just something to make the player feel like they're more personally involved in the avatar that they're controlling in-game. Moving on from that, I really think weapon skins would be a great addition too, similar to what they have in Call of Duty. If they could try to stay away from the goofy ones that Call of Duty Ghosts, for instance, have been implementing, that would be awesome. But again, it's just all about letting the player sort of project their personal preferences onto the character that they're playing in-game, and that's something that I think will really add to the immersive quality of Titanfall that I already feel a lot thanks to the great controls, but just to be able to have some more customization in there. Titan skins is another thing that I think would be really, really awesome, and even if you could use like a custom logo generator to generate an overlay that you can then put on your Titan, something to make yourself stand out when you drop that big Titan in and just start rampaging around the map, I think that would be really, really cool. Moving on from customization, I'd like to talk a little bit about advances that I think can be made in matchmaking. The 90-second countdown timer just really needs to go. That's too long to have people waiting. Gives people the opportunity to back out. Inevitably, you have games that aren't going to start, and then the 90-second countdown starts all over again. I don't know if the game is actually loading things during that 90 seconds, if it's a necessity, but if it is, they need to lessen that necessity, and they really need to make matches start a little bit faster. Additionally, I'd like to see a mercenary playlist for people who prefer to play solo or don't have a party to play with. That way you're not constantly getting run over by 6-man parties if you're trying to play by yourself. And conversely, I'd like to see a ground war playlist that adds even more people in and encourages people in parties to play. So say like a 9v9 playlist, or even larger if the game can handle it. So that would be something I'd like to see, and then also the ability to vote between 2 map choices. Right now the initial Titanfall will actually go on a map rotation similar to Battlefield, if I'm not mistaken, and I would like to be able to vote for the map that you want to play. Definitely just keep it between 2 so that all of the maps still get played eventually, but still I think that would be a great feature for matchmaking. Finally, I'd like to see there be some more competitive matchmaking playlists, so something that gives you a true skill rank, a number that's indicative of the level of skill you've progressed to. That would be really great to see. And then finally, display the actual ping to the dedicated server in pre-game lobbies so that everyone can tell how good their connection is going to be. I'd really like to see that become an option too, not just the color-coded bars, red, yellow, and green, for instance. One last category I want to talk about are extras, just little things that could be thrown in to make the game just a little bit extra awesome. And the first of those would be theater mode. I think it would be really great. Even though you have recording options on Xbox One, they are a little bit limited, and for those of us with capture cards, it would be really great to be able to go back and do in-game like cinematics and recording and stuff like that. I think that would be really, really useful. So I'm not thinking this is going to happen just because, again, the Xbox One has that functionality somewhat built in, but again, it's limited, and I think the game could definitely take advantage of something a little bit more in-depth. I'd also like to see a more in-depth combat record and stats. They're already fairly good, but just to improve on that a little bit more, maybe using the Black Ops 1 combat record as a template, I really think that was a fantastic way to go. And then one last thing, which is actually kind of a more major request, but I think it would really help to sell the game and to give it more replay value as well, is to add in a fun round-based mode that is sort of like Zombies or Extinction from Call of Duty, something that sort of delves into the Titanfall lore and adds like a quirky element to the game that players can get really deeply involved with, something that helps them to relate more personally to the backstory of Titanfall. I would really like to see that. I'm a sucker for game types like that. I've played the hell out of Nazi Zombies and Call of Duty, and so that's one last thing. If there's room on top of all the other awesomeness that's already in there, then that would be awesome. But overall, I just think that Titanfall 1 has been an absolutely fantastic foundation that can be built upon for Titanfall 2. The core gameplay mechanics are all there, and everything that is needed to make this an absolutely massive blockbuster, besides the fact that it's releasing across all of the platforms Titanfall 2 is. This is something that has me just really, really excited, and I can't wait to see where Respawn goes with it. These are my suggestions / requests / wishes for Titanfall 2. I wish you guys all the best, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Warning, another Titan is attacking you.
Ouch! Fuck! Run away. Good win.
Have you heard the news? Everyone's talking. Life is good cause everything's awesome. Lost my job, that's a new opportunity. More free time for my awesome community. I feel more awesome than an awesome possum. Dip my body in chocolate frosting. 3 years later I shot the frosting. Smelling like a blossom. Everything is awesome. Stepped in mud, got new